Hello, love. Welcome to Wildcard Wednesdays here on the Libran Key. And this one is definitely going to be a wild one because I'm doing something here that I haven't really done before. Usually on Wildcard Wednesdays, we take a more galactic, cosmic perspective, spiritual perspective on varying topics. But for this one, it's going to be all about tarot basics. The 3 things that you need to do before you even start reading tarot. And when I say reading tarot here, I mean doing an actual reading, doing a session, whether it's for yourself or someone else, for a group of people. You get the drill, all right? And as always, be discerning about what you hear, be discerning about what resonates for you and what doesn't. Always follow your intuition and always go with your gut, okay? Knowing that you're ready to do this, knowing that you're ready to move forward with this, knowing that this is something that is calling you, okay? So having said that, we're gonna get right into it because this is gonna be a short little sweet one. These are the 3 things that you need to do before you start even reading tarot. And I'm going to put a little bonus tip in at the end as well. First thing is clearing and cleansing your space, your energy field, the energy field of the person that you are working with or reading for. That is the first thing that we do before we even start to open up that deck, before we even start to read anything, okay? Now, how do you do this? It could be as simple as you simply putting the intention forward of clearing out any energies, not yours, not in alignment with your highest and greatest good, clearing them out of the way. You can do this with the breath. You can do this with focusing your intention, visualizing your space clearing through white light. Do whatever resonates for you. You can also use sacred tools here, like incense, holy smoke. Be aware of where you're sourcing that, of course, right? Using some kind of consecrated, sacred, holy water. You can do it through sound, using a bell. You can put on music to clearing energetic frequencies. You can do it through sound bowls. There's so many different ways to do this, but the most important thing is where you're focusing your energy when you do this, okay? Now, little side note on this. If you're working with a deck for the first time, this is again where you would clear the deck. Usually, when I read, I will clear the decks that I've already been working with at the end of a reading when I'm closing down that reading, okay? Again, do whatever resonates for you. Sometimes a deck feels like it needs cleansing. Do it. If that feels like, if you're like, this thing needs a little zhuzh, do it, okay? And the other little tiny side note I'm going to add here as well, and if you have any questions about this, please feel free to leave them in the comments below. How you are storing your decks is also crucial, okay? How are you tending to your decks? Your deck is a sacred tool. It's a gift. It's what you're working with. It's an energy. It's an energetic being in and of itself. There is energy and intention that went into the creation of that deck. How are you storing that deck? Are you keeping it safe, protected? I remember when I first started reading tarot, it was all about like storing your deck in a silk bag. That never resonated for me. For me, I always thought the boxes were beautiful. They were works of art in and of themselves, and they felt safe and protected in those boxes, right? So I like to keep my decks in boxes. Now, you can also think about how you're taking care of your decks as well, because that's all connected here. Where are you storing your decks? Are you storing them with crystals, putting energetic protection around them? Are they in a safe space, right? All of these things apply, okay? So that's another little side note there as well. So once you've set up and cleared your energy field, the space you're working in, you can get really specific with this. You can do it yourself. You can even call on beings or energies that you work with to help you clear that space. And you can even call upon source to help you do this as well. Now, when you connect to source, you're essentially connecting back to where you came from, right? And source light is incredibly purifying and cleansing, and it keeps yourself clear as well. So bringing in source light to clear out space can also do that. I mean, Archangel Michael is the OG when it comes to this too, helping you to clear out energies and also set up sacred space, which is the next step. Okay, this is the second thing we're going to get to. Setting up sacred space. Now, I have a video on this, which also includes the clearing and cleansing bit, and I will link that here and put that in the description box below. Opening up, setting up sacred space. This is where you would call in the energies of protection. Now, you can do this yourself with your higher self. You can do this by calling in specific energies that you work with, whether they be angelic, whether they be galactic, whether they be part of your spirit team, whether they're passed on loved ones, whatever it is that resonates again and works for you. Again, Archangel Michael, the OG with this, okay? He sets up sacred space and he assists you in doing that. This is the main key here, because we're doing this in accordance and concordance and working with other energies. They are assisting us in setting up sacred space when we do this. We're not just kind of leaving it to them, right? They're working through us. So you can be very specific about how you want this sacred space set up. You can say, I want it set up to the width, height, depth of this room, the space that I'm in, calling this energy in for protection, asking that all the messages be pure and true. You can even say, of the light of consciousness here, how whatever, again, resonates for you. That is how you set up sacred space. Now, again, tools that you can use around you for this too. You can bring in crystals, you can bring in whatever it is that works for you with regard to doing this. And the third thing you need to do is to set the intention of the reading. This is everything, right? Why are you reading? What is this reading for? Who is this reading for? The more specific you are in setting up that intention, the more specific answers you will get. If you go more general, you're going to get more general answers, and that is entirely up to you. You are a sovereign being and you have free will. You choose what it is you want to bring into that space. Now, little caveat here, because this has happened to me many times before. Sometimes if you're doing a reading, let's say for yourself or for someone else for that matter, and you're asking for messages for their highest and greatest good to come through, messages of soul support, messages that guidance with regard to what's the best next step. Sometimes the things that show up in the reading may appear to be jarring. They may appear to be scary. You know, I've had guides show up that were very frightening at the beginning, you know. When you've set up sacred space though, and you've set the intention for your highest and greatest good, for protection, for safety, know that these are coming through for your highest and greatest good, because your intention, your word is everything when you've set up this space. Trust in that and have faith in that. Remember as well that when you are setting up that sacred space, if you're connecting to source, if you're connecting to angelic beings, you are inadvertently raising the frequency of that space as well. And whatever energies are coming in, they're matching that frequency. So if you're functioning and you're coming from and you're vibrating at the frequency of love and gratitude, those are the energies that are going to match. And sometimes it's tough love, right? Sometimes it's energies that come through that want to give you kind of a little wake-up call. And it can be jarring at first, but remember that you are incredibly powerful and you are sovereign, and you cannot allow anything to affect you negatively unless you allow it to. All right? Truth and love above all else when it comes to setting up sacred space and doing the readings for yourself or for anyone else. Okay? Now, once you've done the reading, it's very important to close the reading down too, and clear out the energies, obviously, before you close that reading down. That's part of the closing process. Essentially, you're kind of doing the same thing you did at the beginning, at the end of the reading. Clearing out the energies of the reading. Do that however it resonates for you. You can even send that energy towards the highest and greatest good of yourself, the person you're reading with, right? And then giving love and gratitude, thanks for the energies for the beings that came through the reading, to your higher self, to Source, to Mama Gaia, giving thanks for their support in your reading, for whatever beings that came through to give you guidance, and then setting the intention of closing that reading down and closing that space down, okay? And again, you can do this by lighting sacred smoke. You can do this with spraying holy water again. You can do this with sound. The most important thing, though, is your intention, okay? You can even do it with a clap of your hands, a snap of your fingers, setting that intention, bringing your energy back within your energetic field. Because when you open up sacred space, inadvertently, and this is something that you can actually add while you're opening up that sacred space, you're expanding your energetic field further and further out when you do that, right? And that could be something that you also do very intentionally. Always from a sacred space, though, always protected, okay? I think that's pretty much it. If you have any questions about this, please feel free to leave those questions in the comment section below. I see these basics as moral responsibility when it comes to tarot reading. That's just how I work, okay? It's important to set up sacred space because these are sacred tools that you're working with. Working with tarot is a sacred thing, okay? Having a connection to your decks. You are connecting to the divine when you do this, right? However you see the divine, whether it's God, Source, the universe, you're connecting to the divine when you start working with tarot. And that is why it's important to do that, setting up this sacred space, clearing your energy, setting up sacred space, putting forward intentions that are in alignment with your highest and greatest good and whatever energies that you are working with, okay? Thank you so much for being here. I'm sending you so much love wherever you are. Thank you for sharing your time, your energy in this space with me. And love and liberation, always.